Hey guys, and welcome to Two Guys in a Van. In today's episode, we'll be installing the MaxxAir fans in our van. So we'll be putting up two of those bad boys. One goes right up here, another one up front, above the kitchen area. So we'll be showing you how to install these. So stay tuned. So the tools that you're going to need are as follows: metal jigsaw blades, a jigsaw, an angle, a Phillips head screwdriver, a measuring tape, butyl tape, self-leveling lap sealant, a marker of some sorts. If you got all these, you're good to go. Also, don't forget to get blue tape. That way, when you're using the jigsaw won't scratch up the roof of your van. Okay, make sure you measure out the center of this round disc on your van. And the opening has to be 14 by 14, so just measure out 7 inches straight out from here. Next, you want to grab your angle to make sure that the opening is perfectly square, and using blue tape will ensure that the jigsaw won't scratch up the roof of your van, and it will keep the metal shavings to a minimum. Perfect, so this is 14 by 14, all measured out fine. Now what you want to do is get in the corner and start a pilot hole. A second one diagonally across from it. There's a couple of things that I forgot to mention before. You might want to tape a plastic garbage bag to the roof of your van underneath the opening, so that way it will catch the metal shavings. And another thing that I forgot to mention is you want to get a file, so you could file the edges down so they're not sharp, and then cover them with Rust-Oleum paint to prevent rusting. Okay guys, so the next thing you want to do is clean up the area with rubbing alcohol. Cleaning the area with rubbing alcohol will remove all the oils and road grime that accumulated on the roof of your van, and that will make sure that the butyl tape adheres to the roof of the van properly. So that way you greatly reduce your risk of getting any leaks or any water seepage underneath the seal. Now, once you get this cleaned off, the next step would be getting some Rust-Oleum protective enamel. So that way you could paint the edges so they don't rust. Just use any brush and get the edges really good. So that way they're protecting from rusting if you get some moisture into the opening, either from outside or from condensation on the inside. right now we're applying the butyl tape to the skirt of the fan. We decided to go with a double layer of butyl tape to make the skirt a little bit more stable on the ribs that are on the roof of the van, and that seemed to work out really well. Now, after you get the fan skirt in place, you want to pre-drill all the holes for the screws that attach the skirt to the roof of your van. The screws come with the kit. They come included with the fan. When you start screwing them in, you can use a drill gun, but make sure you don't torque them all the way with the drill gun, because it can cause some issues or stripping, and you really don't want to do that. Just get them in far enough so you could hand tighten them with a Phillips head screwdriver after. Next, you'll be applying the self-leveling lap sealant. Make sure you apply it liberally all around the skirt, as you can see doing me now, and on top of every screw head. Ice cream time. Good stuff.
Okay, so we are grabbing the fan.
Okay guys, so the fan is now in place. We're just getting some screws. And screwing it in so it stays in place. Yeah, let's see. Okay, so we're just testing the setup. We did a temporary connection with a battery jump starter to test if it works. If you look closely around, you'll see that the butyl tape made a really nice seal, so we shouldn't have any problems with leaks. And hopefully we could achieve the same effect with the second fan that we'll be putting up. And it works! So that's the most important part. Okay, so that's it for the install of the MaxxAir fan. As you probably noticed, we were only able to install one, not both of the MaxxAir fans. Now, the reason we weren't able to put in the second fan is because the opening that we're going to put in for it is put specifically in that place, so that way down the road, if we decide that we want to get an air conditioning unit instead, we're able to do a clean install of an AC unit and not have it stick out towards the back. Now, the solar panel that we're getting is 66 inches by 40 inches LG solar panel with 300 watts of power. So those dimensions are pretty large, and by putting it in between the two fans, the second fan doesn't really fit without being without having to move it a little further back. And if we move it further back, when we install the AC unit in the future, it's going to overlap the back of the van. It's going to stick out above the third light on the top, and that won't really look like a clean install, but we want to keep that option open for ourselves, that we're not just stuck with two fans and not being able to install an AC unit in a clean way. So right now we're in the process of figuring out if we'll be able to find a similar solar panel in a smaller size with a smaller footprint, so that way we could keep the location of the opening in the same spot. If we're not able to do that, the actual solar panel that we have going up on the roof, it will be getting pinched by the second MaxxAir fan, and we really don't want to do that. So we need to figure out if we'll be able to move the opening a little bit further back, or do we have to scrap the whole idea altogether. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. We would love to answer some questions or hear if you have any advice on what we could do with the panel situation. And any input would be really appreciated. So thank you for watching and take care, guys.